All right, everybody. Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? All right, it might be kind of hard. Okay, what's up, Fire Squad? Welcome to our Saturday training call, guys. We do this every Saturday at 11:02 a.m. just for an hour so that you guys can be proficient in the field. You can close business, you can hire people, and you can get all the information you need to run a solid business, okay? So you all already know, guys. I know our new people don't know this, but we start every Saturday call off with recognizing people who either passed their exam, did their first hire or first sale. And these guys, when you come on, if you're on, please only speak for a minute to talk about why you're excited and how you did what you did. So the first person I definitely want to highlight, super excited about this young guy. He actually hired two people, but he did his first hire this week. Hamza, if you are on, take about a minute to talk about why you're excited and how you did that. Do we have Hamza on? Going once, going twice. All right, great job.
Hey, I'm right here. Oh.
All right, Hamza, you there?
Yeah, hey, Corinne.
Congratulations. Talk about that. Take 1 minute.
Appreciate it. So I was actually super excited to hire these two people. They were actually my previous business partners, and I was actually explaining the business to them. We started to talk about integrity, and that's actually what ended up motivating them to actually take up that initial step. But yeah, that's about it. As much as I got.
Great job. Did you say something?
Nope, that's it.
Great job, buddy. All right. And then the next people I want to highlight, these people actually did their first sale. All right. And so the first person is Elise Greenlee. Elise, if you're on, congratulations. We're excited for you. Talk about why you're excited and how you did that. Do we have Elise on?
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, hello, I am here. Beautiful. Good morning, everyone. I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh, thank you. I'm excited about being part of the family. And I did my first this week and talking about, I felt like a little kid. And I'm just excited to be a part of the family. I've got 3 more lined up for this week. So I'm excited. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm just thankful to be able to help other families.
You're welcome. We are so happy to have you. Great job. All right. And then the last person I want to highlight is Dwayne Craig. Congratulations on getting your first sale done this week. Talk about that. Do we have Dwayne on? Going once, going twice. All right, Dwayne, great job. Guys, we're going to roll right into what we're going to talk about today. And I do have a few announcements before we get on to our guest speakers. So please get your notepads, your pen, however you put your notes in electronically. Okay, write this down, all right, because we're not going to repeat ourselves, guys. And this is why we do this every Saturday. Our leaders take an hour out of their schedule, all right, in the field to make sure you have all the updates of Family First Life and everything that's going on so that you and your team can have success. It's the fastest and the best way to build an agency if that's what you want to do. And it's also the fastest way to stay abreast about everything you need to know moving forward because things are always changing and they're changing for the good. All right, so we're gonna jump right in, guys. The first thing I wanna give you an announcement about is an app called Telegram. If you don't have it, you need to get it. We have reached the maximum capacity in GroupMe and it's no longer serving us. And guys, I wanna apologize, or we will apologize because I know that some people have been having challenges with adding their people into GroupMe. No more challenges, guys. We've now switched completely over starting today to Telegram. And if you don't understand what Telegram is, please go into our GroupMe. Mike File, all right, has actually posted the link in there so that you can jump right on into Telegram. It can hold 200,000 people. That means we got a long way to go, right? But guys, we are switching over to Telegram. Get the word out. If your team is not on here, you need to let them know because they will be behind. We're posting now completely in the app called Telegram. It's like GroupMe on steroids. It's so much better. All right. The next thing I want to talk about, guys, something that I think that I got from a few agents in FFL. it's something that will help you in business. And it's helped me tremendously alongside of other leaders that have downloaded and have paid for it. Guys, write this down. Excuse me. That's F as in Frank, E as in E, X as in xylophone, FEX Toolkit.com. This is such a game changer, guys. And let me tell you why. I know some people, when you call your uplines to figure out what company to go with, we're super busy. You may call the agent hotline. Sometimes you might not get through, or you're posting Slack and you just feel like nobody's hearing you, right? But the FEX Toolkit, guys, is something that you can download. It's $30 a month, okay? And it's worth every penny. It should be worth more, but good thing we're getting that $30 a month, right? But FEX Toolkit is a way that you can actually go in and find out what company to offer a client. It allows you to pull up the name, the date of birth, you can put in their prescription medications, you can put in their diagnosis, and when you press get quote, it will run for you all the companies that will be able to offer the client a particular product that we contract with. It is huge, it's so helpful, and it saves so much time on the kitchen table that will allow you to run way more appointments throughout the day. That is, once again, FEXtoolkit.com. It is such a game changer. I know it's helped me a lot, even though I've been here a little over a year. I use it all the time. And guys, we just want you guys to, be able to make money faster and help more people and to be more efficient. So definitely use that website and definitely get on Telegram or tell, your team about it so that everybody understands what we're doing. All right, guys. So the next person I'm going to bring on to talk is my amazing senior vice president now. She is amazing in this business. She pretty much, she's awesome. There's no words to describe her leadership. I'm so glad to be under her. I'm so glad to be following her and her vision. She's doing something huge and amazing, and we all get to tag along and be a part of it, and alongside have the same success. So Khalees Somerville, if you could go over work spots and comp, take it away, mama.
Good morning. I think we skipped a couple people by mistake. We forgot about Mike Taplin. And
I'm
then
sorry, Mike. Mike, don't kill me,
hold
Mike.
on. But we also had give me 1 second.
I did. I wrote it down. I'm sorry.
Kim Godfrey, are you on the line for a first sale? Okay, Kim Godfrey going once, going twice. And then we had two new newly licensed people. Stefan Manley, are you there? Stefan Manley going once, going twice. Isaac Chuckwu, are you there? Okay, well, congratulations, Kim Godfrey, Stefan Manley, Isaac Chuckwu. Kim again for first sale, Stefan for newly licensed, and Isaac for
Steven. Yeah, I'm here.
Steven, okay, sorry about that. Steven, can you take about a minute and just talk about what you're excited about passing your exam?
I'm just glad that y'all are able to give me the study course for free to help me pass it, because without that study course, I definitely wouldn't have been able to pass it. It really tremendously helped me, because when I got to the simulation test, I was able to pass the simulation test 90% every single time. I built myself up to 90%. But then when I got to the actual exam, it was a lot harder, and I came out with 75%, but I still passed it.
Okay. All right. Well, congratulations. Now we're just looking for your first sale, okay? Congratulations.
Yes.
And then Michael Taplin, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, let me just say, so Mike Taplin, yes, I just want to make sure you're there, Matt Tap. This guy, Mike Taplin, we've been working together for about a year. And I guess over the last month or so, we've been really communicating, on a consistent basis. And Mike wants to be able to really grow his team, and this is his breakout month. Somebody got to mute their phone. This has been his breakout month. That might be you, Mike. His breakout month as far as his team is concerned. So Mike's team ended with over 60,000 in premium team volume. And so he has been promoted to sales manager. Super excited just about super excited about his team and his growth, and what he's getting ready to do. So Mike Taplin, take about 3 minutes, tell everybody what you're excited about, and tell everybody, what you kind of did to get there and what's next for you, okay?
Thank you, Kelly. Again, it's an honor just to be on the call and to be invited, and more so, I'm just grateful to be here, grateful to be surrounded with so many great leaders, mentors, and coaches. I think, first of all, I look at this promotion more as a team award because there's no I in team. So I wouldn't be here without the great leaders I have on a team. And basically, we're just getting more focused, Collie. I think at the end of the day, we're asking more questions. We're calling. We're looking at, because we are committed to the system, committed to and trying to trust the process. Because I think in most cases, the journey becomes a little more difficult if you don't understand what the map is. So understanding the GPS of success, that comes real easy with our team because we have so many leaders that have demonstrated the pathway there. And so without I have my ride and die leaders. I have, Quentin Battle, Maurice Hunt, Valerie Rodriguez, new teams coming up out of New Jersey, Connecticut, just a lot of excitement, a lot of new momentum. And I think at the end of the day, it boils down to just continuing to hire new people, because when you hire new people, you breathe life and energy and motivation, and more importantly, productivity into your team. And I think for what we're doing, I'm just at the very beginning. This is just the beginning. We haven't even got started yet. So we're seeing the momentum and we're excited about it. We're about to recruit like none other. But again, I'm just excited the fact that we're able to plug into a company that's really, it's like Apple. When you join FFL, you plug and play. And if you follow the play, you will be successful.
Good stuff, Mike. Good stuff. Now, so when you get to 100,000 and you get your logo and your team name, what did you know what your team name is going to be? I know we talked about it a little bit. Did you decide yet?
Well, I had a team name that I really loved. I had one that I really loved. I submitted, but someone had already taken it. So I'm now back at the drawing board again. Because I was going to go with service before self, but that was already taken. So okay. I got to go back and try to figure out what that's going to be. But it's coming soon.
All right, perfect. All right, good stuff. Good. I'm excited for you, Mike. I'm glad
Thank
to be working with you. Glad to have you on the team. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, perfect.
Kylie, you're muted.
Thank you. So I'm gonna go in really quickly to and talk about Workspace. Okay, so Workspace is an app that you can basically reserve space in an office, in an FFL office, right? And so what happens is it's almost like, the way I've been describing it to people is Workspace is like it's like Airbnb for office space. So you pay $100 a month for the app, and then you can reserve a space at your local FFL office. I know for the office in Bel Air, guys, we are basically at capacity. Last Monday, I think it was 30 people in the office, and so there were people that did not have a place to go and sit when they got to the office. And so at this point, if you want to make sure that you have a space in the office when you get there, you got to download Workspace and reserve your space. Okay, so I know that's the case for the Bel Air office. I'm not sure about the other locations that we do have in Maryland, because we got two or three offices at this point in PG County. And you had to talk to your manager about their office and how that works. But I know for the Bel Air office, guys, if you're planning on coming there to Dial, you definitely need to download Workspace and reserve your spot to make sure that you have your space when you get there. And then, the fact that also there's so many discounts that they give on the CRM leads. Like, I downloaded Workspace just for the discount. The last discount was 50% off of CRM leads. So I bought 200 leads, and instead of it costing me $2,200, it cost me $1,100. And so that basically paid for my Workspace. So if you look at it like another investment into your business, and you just download it when they put up another opportunity for a discount, use the discount, but don't delete the Workspace. Keep the Workspace, because at some point, if you don't have an office, you're definitely going to need it, guys. So that's it for Workspace. Anybody have any questions about that? All right, perfect.
I do. I do. I'm sorry. Where do you go to get the work spots?
It's an app.
Like what is the app called?
Workspace.
Oh, okay. And it's for, how do we find the office?
So in the app, it gives different app locations that you can rent space at.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Is that an answer your question? That was a good question though.
Yeah. That was
all right, perfect.
Thank you.
All right, and then so next time I go over really quickly, and we're gonna make time for our guest speaker today. Is the comp chart, right? I had a lot of questions lately about how we get paid. So guys, you definitely want to get out your pen and pad, your paper. And if you don't, and this is also available on FFL Agent Hub. So it's the actual, I'm gonna share my screen. Give me 1 second. So if you don't know, Family First Life is the it pays we pay our agents more than most insurance companies pay agents, right? The average insurance agent in the industry, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, perfect. So the average agent in the insurance industry is about a 60% contract. Okay. So when we talk about contracts, and I'm gonna try to keep this kind of basic, but a little bit above basic as well. But so for brand new people, if you don't understand how we get paid based on how much the client pays for their policy for the year. And what the insurance companies, most of the insurance companies that we work with, they advance us, they give us 75% of that yearly premium up front. And so for the sake of our conversation, right, if you were at 100% contract, right, and you were at 100% contract and you did a policy that was $100 a month, and you took $100, 100 times 12 is $1,200. So you would get paid based on that $1,200 at 100% contract. And so what the company would advance you 75% of that money, 9 months up front. So you would make $900 off of selling that policy that was $100 a month if you were at 100% contract. And so months 10, 11, and 12, the company will give you as earned. So they will give you the rest of the money. So they'll give you $100 on month 10, $100 on month 11, and $100 on month 12 to equal that $1,200 you would got paid on that policy. So here, like I said, our starting contract at the minimum contract with Family First Life is 90%. Okay, and so that's where you can, and if you're building an agency, guys, this is kind of where it could get a little bit sticky, just because if you're building an agency and you start your agent off at a 90% contract, that means that when you start to hire people, you have nowhere to put them. So my suggestion, and it's, I've been doing this for a minute, my suggestion would be to start, your agents off at 100% contract. That way, when they hire people, especially licensed people, they can bring their licensed people in at 95%, their licensed people in at 95%, so that they can start building their own agency underneath them. But again, it's a 90% contract, right? If you started a 90% contract, your next goal is to get to 95%. Okay, so in order to get to 95%, you can get there personally, or you can get there with a team, right? So you can start so 5,000 a month issue paid volume for 2 months in a row will get you to a 95% contract, or 20,000 team will get you to a 95% contract, right? And then the next step is, and you can skip levels, guys. You can skip if you were at 90 and you end up doing 10,000 2 months in a row, you can skip 95% and go straight to 100%, right? And then that's 100% personal to get to 100% contract, or 25,000 team to get to 100% contract. And it just continues to go up from there, right? And so the top. Sorry, I got a phone. But at this point, and it's funny because when we started Family First, when I started with Family First Life, last year, the lowest comp was 80%, and the highest was 140%. And within the last year, they started our contract even higher at 90%, and now they go all the way up to 145%. So you can get all the way up to 145%. So, and here's the beauty of Family First Life, right? For people that are not interested in hiring, right? You can come here and you can be a great personal producer, because this whole first row shows what you need to do personally to get to the next comp. Now you can't get beyond 130% without having a team, because you would need to do 300,000 in volume. But theoretically, you can get to 130% by yourself. Does anybody have any questions about this? And this is, again, listed on the Agent Hub, the promotional guidelines as far as the comp is concerned. Any questions about what I just went over?
I have a question.
Yes.
My question is, so in terms of the 75% advance that the company gives Family First Life, you're saying that the agents receive 90% of the 75%?
No, say that one more time. You said, does the agent get 90%
So
of the 75%?
So agents coming into FFL get 90%.
So using that same example, you get 90% of the entire amount, okay? But the company gives you 75% up front.
Up front, and then so the agent gets 90% of that.
No,
is what you're saying?
The agent gets 90. So again, if you write it down or do it on a calculator and you can see it, it will probably make more sense, right? So, and I would share my screen. I would do it on my calculator, but it's going to end up, my thing will freeze. So if you have a policy, you're at 100% contract. And then who am I speaking with again? Who is this?
I'm sorry. This is Kim Sim.
Okay. Hi, Kim. So
Hi.
if you have a policy, Kim, that you're at 100% contract, and you had a policy that cost the client $100 a month, okay, and then you multiply 100 times 12, what do you get?
That's $1,200.
$1,200, okay, and then the insurance company is going to pay you upfront. Most of the insurance companies, except for AIG and guaranteed issue policies, they're going to give you 75% of that $1,200 upfront. So what's 75% of $1,200?
I don't have a calculator, so I'm writing it down.
Okay.
Hold on.
So I'll get the answer. So 75% of $1,200 is $900.
Gotcha.
Okay. So they're going to give you $900 up front, right? And so as long as the client keeps the policy, on month 10, 11, and 12, they're going to pay you $100 on month 10, $100 on month 11, and $100 on month 12. So we have 900 plus 1,200. Plus 300, which is the $1,200.
Gotcha. I got it.
You with me?
I got it. Yep.
Does that make sense now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions about that? You're welcome.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah.
This is Janella. In order to get to the next contract level, you have to hit it 2 months in a row every time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Every time as opposed to what? Let me clarify.
You were saying that in order, like if you're at 95%, in order to get to 100, I would have to hit the 5,000 twice.
Correct.
So in order to get from 100
to 95, to get to 90, if you were at 95 to get to 100, you would need to do 10,000 twice in a row. And let me tell you why that is, right? So especially when it gets to the higher numbers, the higher contracts, right? So like 60%, if you were to do 60,000 2 months, you had to do 60,000 2 months in a row personally to get to 130% contract. The reason that is because what if you ended up just lucking up into let's say a $500,000 annuity? On the scoreboard, it's going to show as 50,000 because it's going to show 10% of the annuity volume, right? And so that was that particular month where you had $60,000. but you had to bid. Can you repeat that same action the following month and show that you can get to 130% contract? So basically, the reason you had to do it 2 months in a row to show that you didn't get lucky that month. It was really, you were actually focused on getting to the next level with your numbers. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Perfect. You're welcome. I guess we got time for one more question, and we got to let our guest speaker come on. And you can post any more questions in the chat, and we can respond in the chat if you have any more questions after this. Any more questions? All right, perfect. Corinne, do you want to introduce the guest speaker? She might be trying to get.
I sure can. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, good. All right. So the next person that I do want to highlight, our guest speaker today, he is killing the game. I'm so glad to call him not only a friend, but a business partner. He's super selfless, always available to answer his calls, his texts, giving information just to help everybody. And in return, you're seeing, because he's selfless, you're seeing that in his numbers and what him and his team are doing. And personally, he's been #1 the last couple months and just really killing it. And he's actually going to give us the information that we need, that he's doing. So guys, that we get to do, or you get to do the same exact thing. And Will Crandell, are you there?
I sure am. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can. Listen, I'm so excited about all of your success. You've come a long way. I know you'll give us a snippet of your story because you don't come from an insurance background. So if, again, we're excited. We're so thankful that you took the time out to speak today on our call, and go ahead and take it away.
Yes, ma'am. It is my honor to be up here, very humble. Every time you ask me or Kali asks me to be on one of these calls, I do not take it lightly, just because I do enjoy giving back, because to be quite frank with you, what I'm doing is not that special. Just being honest. Anybody really can go out and do 30, 40, 50 grand, issue paid a month, as long as you have the right discipline set in place. And I am driving to an appointment, so if I cut out, shoot me a text and I'll pull over and try to get to some better connection. First and foremost, I want to congratulate the ones that did get a promotion this month. I know Kali, they're killing it. I mean, good Lord, you'll be doing $1 million a month, it seems like, in the next 3 or 4 months. So happy to be a part of that. Mike Taplin, congrats, my man. Corinne, you're always killing it. So what I wanted to do is, Corinne, do you want to leave it open at the end for 5 or so minutes, 10 or so minutes, so that everybody can put questions in the chat? Is that kind of how you want to do questions?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Definitely.
So what I would like to do is kind of gear this call around new people or new agents that are coming on and have a lot of questions of how to get started, what type of leads to buy, and all of that. So if you're taking notes, this is how I'm going to kind of do the bullet points. So first bullet point would be lead flow. Second bullet point would be appointments, like how many appointments I'm running. The third bullet point would be mindset. Fourth one would be activity. And then the fifth and final one is, at what point did things kind of change for me in the business? So you can just put changes in business for that bullet point. So before we get into that, I do want to say I do not have, like Corinne said, an insurance background. I couldn't sell anything before I got into this. I was working at Frito-Lay, putting potato chips on a shelf for about 7 years before getting into the insurance. And then I got, in 2019, I started in insurance with another IMO and failed miserably. Did not do very well. And reflecting on that, it was personally, I did it to myself. I just didn't work as hard as what I'm working now. So I won't putting blame on anybody but myself. And that's kind of how that went. So I got out of the insurance for 6 or 7 months, became a correctional officer, did that for 5 months. So if anybody is previous or prior law enforcement or a correctional officer, I feel for you. I respect the work that you do, but it was tough. So during that 6 7-month span, I was part-time with FFL while being a correctional officer. Part-time looked a little like this. February of 2020, I issued my first policy beginning of February. After February, March, April, May, and June, I was issue paying anywhere from 10, 12, 15,000 a month part-time. And I was getting very little sleep. So it can be done part-time to make a very comfortable living with Family First Life if you work. And then around July or August, I went full-time of 2020. So since then, it's been all gas, no brakes. That's kind of how I like to do things. So that's kind of my background. So now we'll jump into the bullet points. Okay, lead flow. Guys, leads are the lifeblood of this business. If you are not buying leads and you are trying to sell or help families as far as friends, referrals, it will only go but so deep. The way to fund your business is going to be lead flow. Now get with your upline, get with the person that brought you in to figure out your budget and what kind of money you can come into the business and spend on leads. Or if you want to look at it as investing in yourself, that's the way that I try to look into it. So right now, I'm going to be 100% transparent on what I have going on as far as cost and what type of leads. So I'm very heavily dependent on instant internet leads. I love them. If there's 100 in one county, I'll spend $1,000 in one day on just instant internet leads. And I'll run those for 2 days. So I'll dial on a Monday and I'll have 100 instant internets. Now I do have FEX mailers coming in North Carolina. Those are right at $480 to $500 every week in cost. And right now I'm getting about 8 to 12 of them. I just started that, so I'll keep you guys updated on how those are going. And then also I have mortgage. Now, mortgage, Eastern North Carolina is very rural. I mean, it's a lot of country out here. So I'm getting about $200 to $300 every week in mortgage. And that yields me about anywhere from 2 to 5 mortgage leads every week. All right, so that's kind of the breakdown of my leads. So collectively, in a week's time, what I'm spending is anywhere from $1,800 to $2,200, $2,300. And now that varies just depending on how many instances there are in the CRM. All right, now it took me a while to get there. I did not come in spending $2,000 a week. I could barely afford diapers for my youngin' when I first got in here. So yeah, very humble beginnings. So that's my lead flow: instant internets, mortgage, and mailers. Now for somebody new, the 1 month new and the 3 month internet leads are gold. I've helped a lot of families on those leads. So they do work if you buy enough. Okay. Now, my appointments. I do not leave my house on a Tuesday or a Wednesday without at least 8 appointments. And I want you guys to understand why. So when I leave my house, if I have 3, 4, 5 appointments, I'm already behind the 8 ball because my numbers play out. If I have 5 appointments, 2 of them are not going to be there. It's just how it is. The third one's going to text me, call me, find some way to try and cancel. And then I'm going to sit with the other 2, and I may sell them. I may help that family, or they may want to think about it or what have you. So I'm only really giving myself 2 chances to help a family. Those are not very good odds. So to try to understand the psychology of why you hear repetitively, don't go out with 8 to 10 appointments, is for that one reason. And I try to jip the system or jip the process and go out and do that. And I promise you, it will bite you in the rear end every time. So heed the warning, listen to everybody that's telling you the exact same thing. Don't go out with less than 8 or 10 appointments. All right. So on a weekly basis, the amount of appointments that I have to set is anywhere from 32 to 35. There has been weeks where I've ran over 35 appointments and my numbers show it. So if you can stay in an office or you're dialing from your house or what have you, if you have to dial from 7:50 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night to get, if you're running for 2 days, to get 22 appointments for the next 2 days, guys, chances are you're going to make 5, 6, 10 grand those 2 days. It's all about what you are willing to sacrifice to be able to get those appointments. So that's kind of how my appointments set up. Now the schedule, there's 2 different schedules. You can do the traditional dial Monday for Tuesday and Wednesday, but now your lead flow has to be right for that. Or for new agents, and I've even done this for a couple of months straight, you can dial a day, run a day. The key to dial a day, run a day is do not decrease the amount of leads that you buy just because you're only family first life. Is all about how many at-bats you can get. If you're only dialing day for today, and instead of 75 to 100 instant internets, we'll just use instance for example. And instead you're like, well, you know what? I'm only dialing for 1 day. Let me buy 30 or 40 of them. It's $300 or $400. Okay, but now you only book 4, 5, 6 appointments for the next day, and then you're calling your upline saying, well, why didn't this work? I'm only dialing for 1 day. And then your upline is probably going to say something along the lines of, well, how many leads did you buy? 35, 40? Well, there's your problem right there. So it's very easy to pinpoint the problems that people are having based on the actions and what they're putting into the business. So it's very simple. So those are the 2 schedules that you can run: dial a day, run a day, or dial 1 day, run 2. Now, as far as activity goes and everything that it goes into activity, I'd like to kind of give you a backstory. I was talking to Rich the other day, Richard Moore, and I kind of made this example. So I'm a very big sports guy. Did a lot of baseball, cross country, track. When I was still playing sports, I'm definitely out of shape now. But in cross country, there was something called a rabbit. Okay, so these particular rabbits, they're people, not real rabbits. Just to let y'all know that. They would start very fast off of the gate. Like they would run out and they would go as fast as they could. They're called the rabbits, to get the top runners to be able to chase them. Okay. Now, a race or a meet was 3.1 miles, and you had to run that as fast as you could. And I'll tie this all in so you guys can understand it. So the rabbit would run maybe a mile, mile and a half as fast as he could, and then he would give out of gas. Well, the experienced runners and the ones that knew how to consistently set their clocks and set a pace, by the end of the 3.1 miles, you had passed all the rabbits. So tying that into activity, don't be a rabbit. Don't start out of the gate for a week, 2 weeks, putting in all this activity, putting in all this money, putting in the work, and then you make a little bit of money, or you have a big day or 2, and then you disappear, you go ghost. Okay, that's the rabbit. The thing that wins in this business, and the reason that I have been where I am, is not because I'm good, not because I'm good in the home, not because I'm good on the phones. It's consistency. Every week, week in, week out, I buy my leads and I run my appointments. So don't be the rabbit. Be consistent. Put your head down and go to work for the next 30, 60, 90 days, 120 days, and then pick your head up, reassess where you're at, and then put your head back down. And you'll be surprised where you're at the end of the 90-day span if you're just consistently buying those leads and running those appointments. Guys, that's the only thing that I'm doing, is I'm just more consistent than most people. That's it. That's all it boils down to. And the last point that I really want to hit on, and the thing, maybe you guys can kind of see how this would help as well. What changed in my business most recently, and the reason I honestly feel a higher level is because I've hired an admin. I mean, my consistency has been there as far as appointments, but hiring the admin and hiring staff has single-handedly helped my numbers increase. For one,
Will, you breaking up really bad.
because now I'm not spending to keep policies on the books and to do, but it's that work. Let me pull over on it. Y'all got me back?
Yeah, Will, can you repeat that whole part about the admin? Because we didn't hear anything.
Okay, let me pull over. I figured it was gonna do that. Hold on. But yeah, so the admin has definitely changed my business, because now I'm not focusing on that aspect of the business. I mean, now I'm 100% focused on booking my appointments, making my dials, and pouring into newer agents that are coming on. So if you are new, or even if you've been here for a while and you have not pulled the trigger on an admin or on somebody that can help you manage your book of business, I think that is one of the biggest things that you can invest in right off the bat that will help you grow exponentially. I mean, your growth will be almost in 30 days, you'll see a difference. So that's the kind of exponential growth that you can expect in this business. Like, it doesn't take 2, 3, 5 years to see growth. You make one simple change, and then in 30 or 60 days, you see huge growth. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I think I was flirting with 30, 32, 33,000 issue paid because of my consistency and the disciplines that I have in place. But now the last 2 months, I have been over 35, 37, 40, around those issue paid volumes. And that's because of the admin. I'm 100% sold on it. I mean, now there are the leads that I've started purchasing, but without the admin calling those clients who miss a payment or have insufficient funds, I mean, this business is not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep on the books or how much you keep. So if you can get that mindset switched to, instead of trying to pad your pockets and make as much as you can in the first 15 days, 30 days, keeping that money is what really is going to set you apart. So that's kind of what I wanted to touch on. Corinne, Kali, if you have any questions, or if they put any questions in the chat, I'd love to answer some of them.
I do have a question, Will. I always have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What? So I know you start. So this last year or so, right? You've been, like you say, you've been flirting around 30 something personal production, right? But I see something has changed, and you've hired a couple people, but haven't really been consistent. And I know now, like, you are focused on, hiring and building, right? Because I think, the first point you said, like, having an admin to manage that book of business for you, so you don't have to be worried about clients falling off the books and stuff that we have to deal with outside of just running appointments. What was it that switched in your mind for you to decide that, okay, now I need to start hiring? Because you can be a great personal producer, right? And make a whole lot of money producing personally, but it had to be, is a decision that has to be made to start to hire, and you want to build an agency. What was the decision, and why did you make that decision, Will?
So the decision to really be intentional about building and pouring into new people was really when I got to the point in the business that I was no longer doing it for money. When the money kind of got to a point to where now I'm actually going out and I'm sitting down with a client and trying to help a family, that's when I made the decision, well, if I can get to where I am, why not give this opportunity or present this opportunity to everybody? That's really what has changed for me. And if you take somebody out of a corporate job and you offer this opportunity and they come in and in 90 days, they have put $20,000-$30,000 in their bank account and actually showed them what this business can offer them in the next year, 2 years, you have changed somebody's life. That right there is worth more to me than the dollar amount in my account, which is not very much, by the way. Like I'm not keeping hardly any money. I try to go broke every week, but that is when the
Will, because you're making a lot of money, but somebody new. Why would you be trying to go broke when you're making all this money on a monthly basis? Like, what are you spending your money on?
Leads, recruiting. So I'm big on recruiting, like the Agentic Pro, the Career Builder, Indeed, LinkedIn. I'm spending money there. Spending money on an office. I've got the admin going. I have another recruiter coming in on Monday. Like I see the goal and where we're trying to get to, and having the money in my account is not helping anybody else but myself. And that's, to be quite frank with you, that's kind of selfish, kind of stingy. So if I'm at a good place personally, and my wife she's got food to cook at night, house payments paid, and the baby's got diapers, and he's not going hungry, I'm a very simple man. That's all it takes for me. And everything else is going right back into the business because I know where we're trying to get to. Because at some point, one day when we sign this integrity deal, I mean, money will never be an issue for not just me and my family, but the people that we bring on. So I have finally got to the point to where I really do want to change other people's lives. And if I'm being quite frank with you, when I first got on with Family First Life, I was very selfish, very, I ain't gonna say stingy, but I was doing it for personal reasons. I needed to make money, and that's okay. I mean, and there's multiple people that is probably on this call that's thinking the same thing. Like, I need to put money in my account. I got bills due, and that's 100% okay. But there will come a point to where you'll hit a certain point in this business to where, okay, I know I can make this amount, but what's next? Then that's when you start pouring into people. So that's what's kind of changed for me. And now reaping the rewards of helping other people, and the numbers are going to shoot up. I mean, hit sales manager for the first time. It's about time. And it's only going to go up from here, because I'm going to keep on investing in more people.
So, okay, so I got, sorry, there's some questions in the chat. Hold on just a second, Andre. Velma Greenlee. Velma, can you call me after the call and I can go through that with you? And then, Will, what time do you start your dialing on your dial date?
Oh, I'm in the office at 7:45, and I make my first phone call 7:50, 7:55.
And you stay there until you book how many appointments? You said you're dialing and running 2 days in a row, right? So you're booking 16 over 2 days, or you booking 20 over 2 days?
Oh no, I don't stop until I have 18. 16 is not, 16. Those last two appointments right there could be the difference in $2,000 or $3,000-$4,000.
For sure. All right, go ahead, Dre.
What's going on, Will?
Andre, my man, what's going on, baby?
Man, I'm doing blessed by the best. I wanted to ask you, number one, congratulations on hitting sales manager. I know when we talked earlier, we were talking earlier this year, we had some challenges, things like that. But I did want to know, I know Kylie kind of hit on it too. When you talk about integrity and building towards integrity, I know you said there was a switch that came with you not making personal income, but then also too, how much is integrity and really understanding integrity impacted your ability and willingness to build?
Integrity has impacted that. That is the one driving force, other than my family, like outside of my kid and my wife. Integrity is the driving force, not for the money. I could care less about the money. Integrity is the driving force for me, because with their resources and what they have going on with integrity and the people that are already there, it just amplifies and multiplies the amount of people that you can reach out and touch. It multiplies the amount of people's lives that you can change. That is what I want to do, because I'm surrounded with, I mean, blue collar, hardworking people that every time I talk to them in my immediate circle, friends and things of that nature, they're waiting for Friday. Like they're just waiting for the last day of their work day so that they can go home and be off, and they complain about their job. If you plug them into a system like this and let them know about integrity, that they can actually work towards something and actually build a business, oh man, it's like a fire gets lit under them. And that is what brings me fulfillment now, more so than the money. Like, now don't get me wrong, the money's nice, but changing the people that is close to me's lives, that right there is worth its weight in gold, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Appreciate you, brother.
No problem.
Any other questions for Will? Well, I do. What are you spending? And you might have said this. What are you spending on leads on a weekly basis? What's your lead bill?
It's anywhere from 1,800 to 2,300, and that is subject to change very, very soon.
It's going to be more or less?
Oh, it's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot more.
Okay. And so what are you going to start getting? BPLs and stuff like that? You're adding other types of leads to your lead flow?
Yep. BPLs, mortgage, more BPLs, more mortgage, and more final expense mailers. I mean, just to put things into perspective, I'm spending anywhere from 18 to 23 a week. Now, you guys see the result. Jonathan Persina is spending 6, 7, 8 grand a week, and his result is 1.3. I don't even know what he did last year. 1.2, 3, 4. Yeah. So I'll ask you guys this question: would you spend $6,000, $7,000 a week on leads and on your business to produce $1.2 million issue paid in a year? Like, if you break that math down, that's what, $300,000 or $400,000 in lead expenses a year. So what, he probably netted 700, 800. I don't even know a lot of doctors that net that every year. And guys, we're not curing cancer. Like, we're selling life insurance. That's it.
How about that? We're not doing brain surgery. We're not doing like nothing risky. We're not jumping out of airplanes like Ryan Urbanski and Thad used to be cops. We ain't trying. We're not getting in shootouts. Like, we really aren't doing anything major.
Anybody can do it.
But that could sound scary, right? For somebody who's new, 2,300. Like, for you, what you're spending, right, at this point. When you started, you weren't spending that much.
Absolutely not.
Okay. So
absolutely not.
Yeah. So I wanted the new people to just understand that, like, it's levels to this game, right? You start out. I know for myself, at the beginning, I didn't have any money for leads, right? And so Frank was giving me leads. I had free, I didn't even have any money to buy leads. So, so this is a good question, LaKenya, and this is probably the last one. LaKenya asked, do you have any tips? Well, this is probably a simple question. Tips on how to grow the lead cost. I'm not sure.
Tips on how to grow the lead cost. Yeah, buy more of them. That's about as simple as. So to grow your lead cost, I mean, if you're going to that CRM and you're spending $300 a week, I mean, the next week go into the CRM and spend $600. I don't know if that's the right answer to that question. I reckon that's it. That's pretty. I think that's pretty simple, right?
I mean, I think, look, yeah. I mean, it is. You start buying more leads and you start making more money. Right, and so like I said, I don't think any of us started out by spending $1,000-$2,000 a week on leads. We probably all started out maybe spending $300, $400, $500 a week on leads and starting out part time. So you start making more money, and then you start adding different types of leads to your lead flow. You know what I'm saying? Like Will's doing CRM, but he's going to start adding BPL. CRM leads are $11 a piece. Some of them are less, right? Depending on how old they are. And then BPLs most of them are about $35 a piece, all the way up to $85 a piece, right? But it's because he's grown his income over the last year, and he's grown it substantially so that he can afford to spend more money on leads. Kenya, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, perfect. All right, so if we don't have any more questions, Will, thank you so much for your time this morning. We know, I know that your time is valuable. You know what I'm saying, and you're out in the field. We're all out in the field. So thank you again for getting on the call and sharing your nuggets. Dwayne said, does more expensive leads increase? Dwayne, can you call me, please? Or call your manager for the question, or post it in group me or what's the new thing called? I forgot the name of it.
I got you, Dwayne. Telegram. I got you, Dwayne.
Telegram, yeah.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas. Happy Mother's Day, moms. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, and we do this every Saturday at from 11 to 12. So have a great week, everybody, and let's grow this thing big. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
You too. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Well.
Happy Mother's Day, Corinne.
Happy Mother's Day, guys.